How are you today?
Doing good.
Okay, well, introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene, a friend of Tony.
So, today we're going to talk about the cost of being your real self. So, I have a few questions I'm going to ask Sean. So, let's start off with the first question.
All right.
So, what does real actually look like in real life to you?
Like a real self, right?
Yes.
I think it's to wake up and be who you feel like in that moment and in that day,
Mm-hmm.
and to recognize that there's no like consistent one version,
Mm-hmm.
just hour by hour, day by day, and then through life seasons. So,
Okay.
social media, TV, your upbringing, your parents, there's always a proper way to be and a certain thing you expect to be as a kid, as a friend, as a wife, as a mother, I imagine. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that should look different, and it does, and it can for everybody else.
Right. Okay, so real to you is basically based on your experience in life and what you've witnessed growing up. It's basically whatever version you portray it to be. Because
Exactly. It's
everyone's
where
real
you
is
are,
different.
yes, and where you are in your journey. Like my real self at 16 compared to my real self at 21,
Right,
compared to my real self in my 30s or my real self today, all look really different.
right.
But I think only later in life, we won't say how old I am today, do I give myself permission to unapologetically and kindly
Hmm.
be who I am every day.
Kindly. Do you think you need to be kind all the time? Is
I
that
think,
honestly being real?
oh, there are times when people don't deserve the kindness and they won't get the
But would
kindness.
you be real at that moment?
Yes, when I'm not kind, but my baseline, I think, is to just be like it's different than confrontational. It's just like open and direct.
Okay.
So I will
Yeah.
come at you with something don't feel right, or I really didn't like when such and such happened. Today, didn't
Hmm.
have
Right.
practice, wisdom, courage to do that even 10 years ago,
Right.
and then state my piece, and how it's received. And then I did my bit. So it really doesn't matter what happens next.
So you have a little accent. Where are you from?
I grew up in Trinidad, and then
Buh, buh, buh.
I moved to Florida for college at 16, and I finished my master's at 21.
Okay.
And I've lived in the States ever since. So from Miami to Indianapolis in the Midwest, very different experience. Not a
Hmm.
lot of immigrants, and it's different than Florida. And then from Indianapolis, I was there maybe 9, 10 years. I moved to Charlotte for work and followed my big sister here. And about the same length of time, 9, 10 years.
Hmm.
And now I own a home in Charlotte and the Carolinas. So for now, it's home. But
Okay. So
things will
that's where the
change.
accent is from.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's move it along. Have Have you ever realized you were becoming a version of yourself other people preferred?
Oh yeah. Trying to like always, I think, looking back at the upbringing, and some of it I would say, it's nice to like try on different things, just like we have different styles, right?
Hmm.
Like you're in this trend, you try it, see if it fits, if it suits you. Maybe it doesn't stick, maybe it does, right? You try something else. So for me, anyway, I think not being fake, but trying new ways, like being open, I think that can be healthy. The difference is that, to me, my reflection from some growth here over the last 4 or 5 years is that you don't lose yourself.
Right.
Why? So even when you rock a style, it'll be Tony's version of that style,
Right.
right? I think
You
that's the
put your little
key.
twist in
So
it.
it's like an art is not a science,
Right.
but then you go into like imposter syndrome if you're just trying to be something
Right.
else,
People pleasing.
people pleasing, or aspiring to be what you think is the right thing.
Hmm.
And Caribbean culture is like that. You have to get good grades and be pretty and take care of your skin and be a good house guest and be a nice friend and be a good niece and sister and daughter and
Hmm.
everything.
And that's what everyone wants you to be. But is
Yes.
that what you want to be?
Well, and I think a
And
part
that's
of
not being
me,
real.
well, a part of me is innately giving and nurturing. So parts of that feel natural to me. but you and I were chatting about this week. I think the difference is the level of effort of being that one shouldn't be more than you want to give.
Mhm.
Two, who's on the receiving end and do they deserve that goodness and kindness? And then three, it shouldn't be something you feel you have to do, but something
That you want to
that you
do.
want to do. And I think that's the difference. So it's not
Mhm.
either or, right? Just like to me, our life and who we portray is a melting pot of things.
Right.
But it's like, well, what is the context for your goodness and kindness and aspiring to be a good friend and a good shouldn't be because you have to be or
Right.
seeking validation or for pieces of shit that don't deserve it.
Exactly.
But you can be that, and in the right community and circle, it could be a really rewarding thing if it's like go both
Right.
ways.
So do you think being your real self costs people or you per se opportunities?
I think so. Um,
For example, you may be at a job that
oh,
you can't be your real self at because you have to, portray to be this
yeah,
one
yeah,
way, narrow minded maybe.
I see.
And when you leave work, that's when your true self comes out. So
Yeah,
in that aspect, it does cost people opportunities. It may cost you your job to be
yeah.
your real self.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So that was something new for me. So I was a musician as, younger years for
Hmm.
many, many years. And I finished music and putting out my last record and stuff when I was 26. Put more music out after that, but at a much like lesser level of investment. Like
Hmm.
that was my career, my life since I was 11. And so I never had a corporate job, even though I had a master's degree and a college degree. I never worked in a real workforce or anything because I was making records, touring the world, making records, touring the world, doing interviews, touring the world. So I had no idea what context would be like in a professional setting.
Hmm.
And to be honest, even growing up as a child, because I was so focused on getting straight A's and making records, I missed out probably on some of the practice that people get with how to kind of engage with folks that are also different,
Hmm.
and like how do you manage those situations? So in the workplace it's similar but different
Right.
because it affects your paycheck. When I first entered corporate America, the thing I had to learn the most is um, I won't say how to be vanilla. I think you almost, and I don't mean that in the how to be white. I went to music school where they would say, like all the Disney classics, those Snow White voices and Cinderella singing voices, Frozen voices, they call those vanilla voices because they don't really have, they're very pretty and they're very elegant, but they're pleasing to any ear. They
More of
do
like a plane.
more of a plain. So when I say vanilla, I mean like a plain,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So to me, I think what has worked for me in corporate America is to be plain. But anybody that knows me, yourself included, will know I'm the furthest thing from plain. I like food that tastes real plentiful flavors. I need loud music. I will get excited if I'm happy and scream and screech and clap my hands.
Right.
Very animated is how an ex of mine would describe me as I'm very animated, and I've always been, but I was an entertainer for most of my life, and that's
Right. And you
naturally
started
who I
young.
am,
Hmm.
very expressive.
Right.
So me having to be plain at work is very different, and it took a lot of practice. I would say that when I am passionate or animated, like frustrated, something not going right at work, or very adamant about how we should get from A to Z for the success of a project, it comes across as forceful. It comes across either as forceful, which makes people feel intimidated,
Hmm.
so too direct, or they would say, my ideas are so loud and so definitive that I don't leave space for anybody else. And it's not about trying to control the situation, it's about leadership.
Hmm.
And I think I've had to live alone since I was 16. And it's not a dictatorship because everybody's ideas are welcome. But when my personality is my own, my true, authentic, strong,
Strong
um,
minded.
you
Hmm.
know, animated self, it makes people feel uncomfortable. So I found that to show up at work being not shy and bashful and ashamed to speak or insecure, but plain and neutral,
Mhm.
like, no bass, no treble,
Mhm.
is that seems to work for all the different varieties of people that I might work with.
You being your true self can affect opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, I am sometimes they'll know when when the fire hot at work and something not going right, they'll be like, "Oh, I hear the Trini."
So that's when they know you ain't playing around, right?
Yeah, so, and that's my cue to dial it back, get back to neutral.
Reel it in. Nowadays, social media has everyone in a frenzy, and that I feel like takes away from your real authentic self. So, with social media, have you ever posted a version of your life you weren't actually living?
I don't think so. Um,
Have you ever posted a picture where you're, oh my God, I'm living this, but deep down you're miserable?
mm, no, I just don't post. I kind of go silent.
Yeah, you're more of one of those.
Yeah. When you
Yeah,
don't see me for a while, call me
yeah,
and make
that's when
sure
you know
I'm
something's
alive.
wrong.
See
So
if
we,
I need the
yeah,
next bottle of wine.
I get it. So you're not. There's nothing you've ever posted that you're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But
No.
I'm not a fake person, so I wouldn't post that either.
Yep.
So I definitely could relate with that. I'm
Now,
not
on the
gonna.
flip side, I probably share too much of my life. Well, okay, so what I just said there is a version of me not being my authentic self. Especially when doors close, it sucks. Whether it's relationship, jobs, people passing, right? When seasons of life end, it's usually hard. Then you get to a point of acceptance, and then new things come. And when there are new seasons, a new relationship, a new job, a new baby, whatever in the family, a new niece, a new nephew, a new puppy, new cat, you get excited,
Mhm.
right? And when I'm excited about some new season in my life, I will post a lot. But it's not to show off or fake or anything. It's because
You're happy,
I'm happy
and you want the
and
world,
I'm
and you want to share it.
expressive. That's right. It's not for any other
Right,
reason. And I do like, 3 years ago, this is what you were doing.
right.
Unless it was a painful memory, then turn that shit off. But
Delete, delete, delete.
yes, yes. And then when there's nothing going on, or I'm healing or growing or trying to recover from some old season, you will find that I will go silent. But what I just told you was um, maybe I post too much. So I'm going to withdraw that statement in my current self growth and not be apologetic for being my authentic self,
Right,
which is a person that enjoys posting when I'm happy.
right. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, shouldn't
Again,
be.
this is not for people, but this is what social media like I feel like creates it to be or turns it into
They
like
read and why is she posting that?
yeah,
What's she
they read
trying
too
to?
much into it when
My
sometimes
God.
it's just a meme.
I'm like, Frank's eating some eggs this morning. That's it. My dog is Frank. And sometimes I just post him eating eggs in the morning for no reason other than it's bringing my heart joy. He's so excited about his damn eggs. So I put it on
Yeah,
social
she loves her dog Frank. He is the
Who's
world
not
to
allowed to
her.
be in the
He's not.
video. I don't know why. He's better looking than all
all
of
he's
us.
going to do is anyway. Do you think people confuse branding with identity?
Hmm.
I go through that.
I'd say yes for
Right, yeah.
sure. And then I'd love to hear your story. So as a musician, remember I put my first record out when I was 11 years old. So my whole life as a young adult, well, as a child, as a teenager, was music. And what is music? Marketing. Now I like music for writing the lyrics. I play piano. I like to compose this song. There's something very fulfilling, like I'm a creator. But I'm a left brain, right brain, like cooking. It's like an art. You're creating, you're smelling this ingredient. Same with music or
Hmm.
gardening, right? Um, but when it came to putting it out in the world for it to be received, that's marketing, that's
Hmm.
branding. And so I always had to be a brand around music.
Hmm.
I was a certain brand for Trinidadians. Then I moved to the States for college and worked with the European companies. I had to be a different kind of brand for them. Then I worked with Asian companies for recorded music. I had to be a different kind of brand for them.
Hmm.
And then, like I just told you, when I went to corporate America, I had to be a different kind of brand for them. I don't think anybody knew who Charlene the Girl was, myself included. outside of the branding of music
Right. And
all
you
through
started
my
at a young
teens.
age.
Yes,
Mhm.
Charlene didn't figure out who she was until her 30s, and I'm in my mid 40s now.
Okay.
So that's a very short stint of my very long life where I never stopped to look at and explore who I am, and then also understand that that will change and changes every day, and that's totally normal. You don't have to have all the answers. There's no
Mhm.
right or wrong answer,
Mhm.
but you have to know yourself enough
Right.
because then when you mix with other people, friends, you know, you find yourself in a bad spot if you don't know who you are. Some of my friends are kind of like you and me, post when they're happy, their kids, whatever brings them joy, go silent for a while, but there are other friends that post constantly this perfect,
Right.
this like perfect life, and I'm like, well, wonderful for you if that's valid and authentic, but man, everybody shit stinks, so I know that
Well,
we all have stuff,
yeah.
and
And branding and real life are two different things. Like you as a real person, and then your brand. Like for example, I have to post every day because I have a brand,
Mhm.
even though I'm the type of person who could care less for social media. I don't mind posting, but that's because I have to keep engagement. I have to keep, people that are watching so
'cause
they
that's your
can.
job. It's like branding for
Right, it's
music.
branding.
That's
Right.
different. That's marketing. That
Right.
is you are like the spokesperson, the ambassador, the advocate for your product, and
Right.
you choose quality products, and so that makes
Trying to encourage my people.
how much years I have for retirement? Maybe 12. After which I could do whatever I want.
Well, I'll be right there with you. Cheers
Oh
to that.
yeah! Cheers! 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 Choo-choo.
What part of yourself are you currently learning to accept?
Mm. The one who has needs. Simple as that. So, I needed a nap today. We had a beautiful beach, day 2 of 5, ended maybe 6 months ago, a little over that, a 2-year relationship that I thought would be my forever relationship. And, things are always very good. And if they're going to turn south, it was very good before they go south, and then they just go worse, 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 and worse. And so we were for the last year ish, ups and downs, but mostly not peaks, valleys. And at that point, that's when you're supposed to be able to speak your needs. But if your needs are unheard, then I just withdraw and try harder to compromise because relationships are work, right? That's what they tell you. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're compromising so much that well, one, you don't know yourself yet or what your needs are.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you feel you can't ask for your needs. And three, you're overcompromising for a relationship, then that is not, you have no chance of success,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's all on me. It's not that I caused the breakup, but maybe we would have broken up sooner,
Right.
right? If I had a little bit of better visibility into those three
Mm-hmm.
things. So back to your question, what am I working on is
More boundaries, maybe.
boundaries, but really just understanding my needs and being
Speaking up.
comfortable speaking up for
Mm-hmm.
them, like unapologetically.
Right. I'm working on saying no and, basically, I don't care what it is that I'm doing. If it's no explanation behind my nose. Usually it's like, well, I just did this, I just did that, so I'm not able to come. Or I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's just like I'm working on just saying no and no explanation needed because I'm grown. I pay my own bills and I don't owe nobody no damn explanation.
That's it.
That's it.
Yep.
Period. At the end of no. And
Yep.
that's just that. So that's what I feel like I need to work on. Is just no explanation and be okay with however people feel because I honestly don't care. Um, but I also don't want to come off as insensitive,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But when it comes to me and what I got going on in my life and my choices, I only need to worry about me at that moment. And other people's opinions really don't matter to me
Mhm.
um, in anything I do because, again, I take care of me, not you, and your opinions. Your opinions don't pay the bills, motherfuckers. Do people actually want the real you or just a manageable version?
Ugh. Well, people expect you to be manageable. They want to tell you what they think you're supposed to show up like or as or
How
criticize
to feel about
if
something.
they're uncomfortable with you. And I'm like, well, if you don't like who I am, that's your choice.
hmm
Walk.
hmm
You
I
know?
feel like people rather the manageable version because they feel like that's something that they can control. That's something that they can, you know, manipulate. As if when it's the real version of you,
Cannot be contained.
right, and then it's coming off as, aggression or assertive or
Yeah,
to this or to that.
it's a method of control.
Yeah,
It's definitely a method of
yeah,
control.
and
That's
I
what
will
they
not
say.
be controlled.
To be well and change in people, right? Because people shouldn't be changed.
Right,
People should change, but by their choice
by
through
their choice.
evolution,
Yes,
not because somebody needs them then to change. Now we're not talking compromise and relationships and understanding each other's needs and meeting in the middle and but we're talking about when somebody wants you to be somebody completely different than
right.
you are, when they know damn well who you were
Before.
before,
hmm
and so that is, I've been reading a lot of books about that. And not that everybody who tries to change you is trying to control you, but in some cases, they are master manipulators
Yes,
trying to
persuade you.
change you,
hmm
control you, just to see if they can.
Yep,
Just to be able to put a man down. I mean,
yep.
if somebody says to you, you're so flamboyant. I mean, you're just so loud and like your light, you have to shine so brightly. You walk in their room and you suck up all the attention. Notice notice the words I'm using there. That's very derogatory. Where friends of mine would say, you know everybody in the neighborhood. You chatty, you talk to strangers, you open, you have a bright light, your energy is nice to be around you. When you choose for
It's all
company,
wordplay.
is all different views of the very same human.
hmm
So if you are too much for somebody, I would say that's a good
That's
one.
their problem, not a
And
you.
that's a time to say no,
Right, and
because
goodbye.
there's no compromise there.
Right. You should not have to change yourself to
No,
accommodate.
not even a little. Not the compromise for making relationships work. Like, okay, I could turn off the TV at 9 because you have
Right.
to. Not that, but like,
Yourself, your
yeah,
real authentic
who is
self.
the real authentic self, and
Right.
what are your true needs?
Right.
hmm
Closing question.
hmm Yes or no question? Truth
No.
or dare question?
No. What are you no longer pretending about?
Oof. Well, let me think about that because the last like life.
Or what would happen if women stopped apologizing for evolving?
Oh yeah, that's a better one. That one I could probably answer because it's fresh. Also have to think about it. What would happen if a woman stopped apologizing for being herself?
For evolving.
Yep. As I grow out of that painful season and make room for something new and beautiful. I think if you set expectations the right way out the gate, you will more quickly identify people that don't belong in your life,
hmm
therefore leaving room for people that do
Do belong.
belong in your life
Alignment.
and can have a different experience and hopefully a positive one where
hmm
you don't have to apologize for evolving needs or anything because you know what your needs are, you know who you are, and you could quickly recognize when somebody is trying to dim your light or change you or control you,
hmm
and you don't even
Need that
become
energy.
emotionally attached.
hmm
You don't even assume that they have all these other beautiful qualities and those things are true.
Right.
But if that aspect of control or change or manipulation is fully there, it will never be good for you.
Right.
They would be the winner in the end because they would get you to change. They would have the control, the manipulation they're seeking. They'll get you to make all the adjustments that serve them and their needs and their lives, and
hmm
then you wither away into nothing. So yes, we should never put ourselves in a situation where we have to apologize for our needs, being ourselves, or our
Evolving.
growth,
Yes, doing better,
doing
becoming a better version of yourself.
even something different. Yeah, that
Mhm.
is important to you today. That wasn't, I imagine, for married people. I look at my parents, what might be important to them today maybe wasn't when they were first married or something,
Mhm.
and they expect it and they have to understand and be good with that.
Right.
Somebody cannot be the exact same all the time. Like,
Mhm.
nothing about that is healthy or realistic.
And you definitely experience people feeling a way about you, the way you evolve.
Hmm.
You've definitely been there. I've witnessed it.
Hmm.
So, last question. This is built by her. So, I want to know because I know that you're a person that literally built yourself to what you have accomplished today.
Hmm.
So, what did it take to become the Charlene that you are today? What did you build by
Hmm.
yourself to become basically a built by her, Charlene?
Hmm. I think resilience is the number one quality. And that was definitely upbringing, talking about what you're raised to be. And while some of that is a little over the top,
Mhm.
I think that like grind and that it really doesn't matter what is happening. You want to get out of it or get through it, you definitely can. It's like a mindset.
Mhm.
And even if it might take you longer to change a job or change a relationship or whatever, as long as you know that you could do that, like you are driving, you're
Mhm.
not a backseat passenger,
Right.
right? You are in
You are
control
in
of
control.
your life. And
Mhm.
that's what I mean by resilience. You could take it, it hurts, you feel all the feels, it sucks, but you are still driving. You
Mhm.
might be going 2 miles per hour, but you're
But
getting
you're getting there.
there.
Slow and steady
Right?
still
Slow and
wins.
steady. And so I would say that. I mean, so from young it was music, having number one records, touring the world, performing with some amazing artists. But that required sacrifice. That's that resilience. That's that drive. Studio, school, playing for touring, no social life, no friends really, because it wasn't home.
Took discipline too.
Discipline, right? So hard work, resilience, drive. And I succeeded, took my career far, and then post that college scholarship. 16 went to do my undergrad, partial scholarship, work, 21 credits, 3.8 GPA, because failure was not an option. People
Right.
say you need the education to like be able to work and make money. I don't think I understood what that actually means, but anyway, that's what we're told, right? So we
Right.
did it. And then once music was done, I didn't really know, like I said, how to work in corporate America. Never had a job, couldn't get a job. And then I was like, well, everybody else around me is able to figure this out. So I need to be able to figure it out too, right? And then I started as a receptionist for somebody because I couldn't get a job because
Mhm.
even though I had a master's and everything, worked my way up to director of marketing, to analytics and marketing, like manager, to people leader in innovation, because you're always learning. You want to learn, you see a new opportunity of interest, you want to work with a certain group of people. I like to work with smart, bright people.
Mhm.
Um, then you just drive there. Just
Mhm.
go there, like in your mind, in your heart. What is the very next thing I need to do? Just one step at a time,
Mhm.
and then you'll make your way there. You might actually go somewhere else on the way
Mhm.
to a certain spot.
Right.
So I would say that's it. And for me, I think knowing that I don't have any really buddy to rely on and
Mhm.
haven't, that is what
That's survival mode.
fuels that survival mode, is
Mhm.
what keeps the drive going. So not quite there yet, but praise God, I'm on my way, God willing, to have a decent old gold, what do they say, golden years,
Mhm.
where you don't have to worry if
But you
you.
have a great you've built a life, a great life for yourself.
Yes.
You own your own home, you have a great job, you take vacations. It's just you and your dog, so you don't have children
Mm,
Um,
sadly.
so and you started at 16.
Hmm.
You was singing and then you made it to working for one of the best companies in
Mhm.
North Carolina, making
Mhm.
great money and
They've been good to me.
living good. You got a nice car, all paid off. How many people you know could pay off their car? Shit. I didn't know then either. I feel like our
No.
parents didn't know. I know I didn't get taught that. I learned that on my own.
Yeah, financial in like
Literacy. Hmm.
responsibility out completely
Sacrifice
legally.
is not always a bad thing.
No,
It's okay to live below your means for a couple of years to make it
ain't
to
no
the finish
shame.
line.
Ain't no shame. And then
Because
what?
now you're zero debt
800 something credit score used
and
to
you
be
own your own
500.
house.
You
This is
know?
a great example of
Oh
built
man.
by her. She
Uh-huh.
created her life on her own
Huh.
and
And making
unapologetically.
room in my life for beautiful friends that do the same thing.
Yes, this is alignment, honey,
Yes. Trinies.
for life. Thank you for joining us on this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't forget to shop at pureherz.com. Thank you.